Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Patrick. It's my pleasure to lead your practice today. Today's practice, we will be doing some asanas from the Ashtanga primary series. As many of you know who are regular Ashtanga practitioners, it can be quite an intense practice, so I just encourage you to do what you can. We're all coming to the mat from different places, so just take child's pose whenever you need to. It's not a competition, don't worry about what anybody else is doing. As always, I would encourage you to focus on the breath and just try to observe any physical sensations that you're feeling within the asanas. Just go to your limits. Don't become too intense in any of the poses. Just do what you can, do your practice, and I hope you enjoy the class. We're going to start at the top of our mat, standing in Tadasana, big toes touching, heels slightly apart. So in Tadasana, just shutting the eyes, starting to become present on the mat, focusing on the breath, focusing on any physical sensations, becoming mindful of where you feel the weight in your feet. So just coming back to the breath and just observing the gentle inflow and outflow of the breath. Just follow your own breath, just observing where you feel the breath. To the back of the nose, the throat, chest and abdomen slightly expanding. And as you exhale, the chest and abdomen sinking down. Keeping your eyes closed, just focusing on the breath for a few moments. We're going to start now elongating the breath. So in the next exhale, you just hold your breath. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Just coming back to your normal breathing rhythm. Within your practice today, doing Ujjayi breath, we are breathing through the nose, but through a narrow restriction at the back of the throat, and likewise exhaling through the nose, through this narrow restriction. This has the effect of slowing down the breath, and in heated Ashtanga asanas can also have the effect of cooling down the body. Yeah, so standing in Tadasana, observing where the weight is distributed between the feet, engaging Padabandha, pressing into the 4 corners of the feet. Calves are engaged, quads are engaged, glutes are engaged. The abdominal engagement. Shoulder blades drawn together. Soft gaze straight ahead. Arms hanging loosely from the sockets. And inhale, reach up, Urdhva, gaze at the fingertips, slight back bend. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, straight back, gaze forward. Exhale, stepping back, right foot, left foot, come into plank pose. This is challenging, it's fine to drop the knees. Coming through to a Chaturanga, go. Keeping the elbows tucked in, core is engaged. Coming up to Cobra, Rook Dog. Back up to Downward Facing Dog. This is our first Downward Facing Dog, so heading out the feet, doing it mindfully with the breath. Try to keep the hips high. Hands are engaged, Ashtanga. Pressing into the fingertips and the palms. Imagine you're squeezing a soft ball between your elbows. And gradually start to come to your best down dog today. Keeping the hips high. More important to keep a straight spine. And here, stepping right leg forward. Stepping the left foot forward to meet the right. Coming to a half lift. Forward fold. We're now Ashtanga. And coming back to Tadasana. Inhale, reach up. Gaze at the fingertips. Exhale, bend from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step the right foot back. Step the left foot back. Come into your Chaturanga. Cobra or Up Dog. Back up to Downward Facing Dog. Take 3 breaths here. Stepping or jumping. Come into a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, Tadasana. Do one more cycle. Inhale, reach up, Urdhva. Slide back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, dropping the hands. Jumping back. Come into your Chaturanga. Cobra or Up Dog. Back up to Downward Facing Dog. Taking 3 breaths here. Again, keeping the hips high, straight spine, arms are engaged. And from here, stepping or jumping forward, come into a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up, Urdhva. Exhale, come into Tadasana. Now coming to Surya Namaskar B. So coming to chair pose, Uttanasana. Keeping a neutral spine, bend in the knees, glutes are engaged. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, stepping or jumping back. Come into Chaturanga. Cobra or Up Dog. Back up to Downward Facing Dog. Taking 3 breaths. And stepping right foot inside the right hand. Dropping the left heel. Come into Virabhadrasana, Warrior 1. You're trying to square your hips towards the front of the mat. It's fine if it's challenging to move your left foot out to the left. Front leg is engaged. You're trying not to allow the right knee to come forward at the ankle. Exhale, drop your hands. Stepping back to plank pose, coming through to your Chaturanga. Cobra or Up Dog. Back up to Downward Facing Dog. Stepping the left foot forward, inside your left hand, dropping the right heel, coming to warrior one. Both legs are strong and engaged. Reaching up, gaze at the fingertips. Exhale, dropping your hands both sides of the left foot. Stepping back, coming through to your chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Back up to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, stepping or jumping back, coming to a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming to Uttanasana, chair pose. Exhale, coming to Tadasana. Remember, take a child's pose whenever you need to, guys. Coming to chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step or hop back. Come into your chaturanga. Coming through to cobra or up dog. Remember, an upward facing dog. Your knees are off the mat. Shoulder blades are drawn back. Coming back up to downward facing dog. Inhale, stepping your right foot inside your right hand, dropping the left knee, coming to warrior one. Exhale, drop your hands, both sides of the right foot, stepping back to plank pose and coming through to your chaturanga. Over up dog, back up to downward facing dog. Stepping the left foot forward, inside the left thumb, dropping the right heel, going to warrior one. On the exhale, dropping your hands both sides of the left foot, coming back to plank pose and coming through to your chaturanga. Back up to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, jumping forward or stepping, coming to a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reaching up, slight back bend. Exhale, coming to Tadasana. Just do that one more time. So inhale, coming to Uttanasana, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, stepping or hopping back. Coming through to your chaturanga, cobra up dog. Back up to downward facing dog. Stepping the right foot forward on inhale. Inside your right thumb. Dropping the left heel. Coming to warrior one. Exhale, dropping your hands. Both sides of the right foot. Stepping back and coming through to your chaturanga. Cobra up dog. Back up to downward facing dog. Stepping the left foot forward inside your left hand. This time dropping the right heel, coming to warrior one. Exhale, dropping your hands both sides of the left foot. Coming through to your chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Back up to downward facing dog. Taking 3 breaths here. Stepping your right foot forward, stepping your left foot forward, or hopping. Coming to chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up, Urdhva, coming to Tadasana. Focusing on the breath, all of the physical sensations during that intense warm-up. From here, we're going to come to a forward fold. So our first forward fold is Ashtanga. We're going to stand tall, draw the abdominals in. We're going to fold from the hips, bend the knees is fine. You can hold on to your ankles, is fine. If it's accessible this afternoon, just holding on to your big toes. Abdominals are engaged, trying to keep a straight spine. And from here, we're allowing everything to fold forward. The elbows go wide. Slight bend in the knees is fine. Just allowing your upper body to drape down. Allowing your head to drop towards the mat. Placing your hands on your hips and coming back up, center. From here, we're going to come to Padasana. So again, we're going to reach tall, going to fold forward, bending from the hips. Slight bend in the knees is fine. We're going to stand on our fingers, palms facing up. Depending on your level of flexibility, you may be able to go right onto the wrists. It's not a competition, don't worry how far you can go today. And again, using this as a hamstring stretch, start to straighten the legs. Allow the upper body to drape down. Letting go of the hands, go to the feet, placing them back on your hips, and coming back up to standing. Going to turn to right, feet are together. I'm going to take a big step to the right, 3 to 4 feet. Turning our right toes over the back of the mat. Ideally, the heels are in one line. Depending on the level of flexibility in your left hip, you can experiment during the asana with the angle of the foot, where most people will be pointing in slightly. So we're going to come to Trikonasana. So we're going to reach your arms out straight, in line with the toes on the right foot. Going to take an inhale, make yourselves tall, make space between the vertebrae. Exhale, we're going to reach out over the right foot, dropping the hand onto the ankle, using a block is fine, and lifting our left arm up in the opposite direction. Feeling a line of energy between the tips of the right fingers and the tips of the left fingers. Both legs are strong and engaged. Both hips are externally rotating. We're trying to gaze at our left fingertips. Hands are feeling a deep stretch in the opposite directions, like somebody was pulling their hands away from each other. Coming back up to center. Here we're going to come to Pavarita Trikonasana. We're going to place our hands on our hips. We're going to square our hips towards the back of the mat. May need to turn your left foot in slightly here. So both legs are strong and engaged. We're going to lift our left arm high. We're going to reach forward with a straight right leg, dropping the left hand to the inside of the right foot, reaching the right arm skyward. So you're twisting here from the thoracic spine, not from the hips. Again, focusing on the breath and any physical sensations. And coming back to center. We're going to repeat those asanas on the opposite side. So we're going to turn our left foot this time over the top of the mat. Heels are in line. Right foot turning in slightly. Inhale, make yourself tall, make space between the vertebrae. And reaching out, dropping your left hand onto left ankle, a block, or if you have the flexibility to the big toe side, and reaching the right arm up in opposite direction. Again, twisting from the thoracic spine. If it's comfortable, gazing the right fingertips. Focusing on the breath. Coming back to center. We're going to come to Arita Trikonasana on this side. Again, we're going to place our hands on your hips, turning the right foot in, if needed. Lifting the right arm tall, reaching forward with straight legs, dropping right hand to little toe side on the ankle, a block, or on the mat. And again, twisting from the thoracic spine, drawing the shoulder blades together, feeling a deep stretch. Both legs are strong and engaged. Coming back to center. Stepping left foot into the right. Starting into Tadasana for a moment, just focusing on the breath. So I'm taking a big step again to the right. Coming to extended side angle. Widen your stance. Bending into the right knee. The left leg is strong and engaged. This time, dropping the right elbow onto the right knee, inside the right knee, and reaching your left arm up and over. So your left arm is in line with your left leg. Arm and leg on the left side is strong and engaged. Again, feeling a line of energy from the tip of the left fingers right down to the left foot. You can leave your elbow in this position, using it to prevent the knee from turning inwards, or drop your hand onto the mat or block. And again, if it's okay for your neck, gazing up at the left fingertips. Coming back to warrior two. From here, we're going to come to revolved extended side angle. We're going to place our hands on our hips, experimenting with the width of your stance, with keeping the bend in the forward knee. You can place your hands in prayer and just turning, rotating This time pressing your left elbow into your right knee and using the pressure of that elbow into knee to deepen the twist, again, which is coming from the thoracic spine. If you have flexibility, you can drop the left hand to the little toe side of the right foot or on a block and extend your hand up and over. Coming back to center. This time, turning your left foot over the top of the mat, turning the right foot inwards, and coming to extended side angle on this side. So again, you wish to place your left elbow on the left knee, drawing the right arm up and over, or if you wish, dropping your left hand down on the big toe side towards the mat or on a block. Focusing on the breath. Coming back briefly to warrior two. We're coming to revolved side angle. Again, squaring your hips to the top of the mat. It is fine to move the right foot to the outside of the mat if that feels more comfortable. Gives you more space to turn the hips. Placing your hands in prayer. And again, twisting to the left. Pressing the right elbow in to the left knee. Using the pressure of the elbow to deepen the twist, which is coming from the thoracic spine. Remembering to keep the right leg strong and engaged. Dropping the right hand, that feels good. Left hand up and over. Whichever version feels good today. Focusing on the breath. Coming back up to center. Placing your hands on your hips. Here we're going to come to Prasarita. So in Prasarita, toes are pointing either straight ahead or you may turn the toes slightly in. You can experiment also with the width of your stance, depending on your level of flexibility. So from here we're going to fold forward, bending from the hips. We're going to engage the abdominals, protect the lower spine, trying to fold forward with a straight spine. Dropping your hands onto the mat, in line with our feet. Core is engaged. Legs are strong. Engaging the pelvic floor. Allowing the upper body to sink down towards the mat. Placing your hands on your hips. Going back out of the pose. We're going to come now to Prasarita C. So we're going to interlink our fingers behind your back. We're going to, again, engage the abdominals, dropping the pelvic floor, folding forward with a straight spine. And trying to lift your hands skyward. Getting a deep stretch into the shoulders. Don't worry about how far you can fold forward, just keeping the integrity of the pose. We're all coming from different positions. Trying to draw the arms up overhead. Placing your hands on your hips. And coming back up to center. Press Rita D. Again, we're going to try and fold forward. This time, if it's successful today, wrapping your big toes, your index finger and middle finger. That's challenging, no problem to use to grab your ankles. And again, straight legs, trying to fold forward. Weight coming onto the toes. Placing your hands back on your hips and coming back up to center. From here, stepping back to the top of the mat. Again, into Ashtanga, just observing how your body feels, focusing on the breath. Next asana we come to is Prasvatanasana, pyramid pose. So we're taking a step back, the right foot. Again, ideally, both heels in one line. If it's challenging, it's fine to move your right foot to the right. Toes pointing in 45 degrees. We're going to try and bring your hands here into reverse prayer. If this is challenging, it's fine again to interlock the fingers. Going to an inhale, make yourselves tall, engage the abdominals. We're going to fold forward, in line with the inner seam of the left leg. Trying to place your hands in reverse prayer or keeping the fingers interlocked. With a straight spine, trying to drop our chest down. Both legs are strong and engaged. Going back up center, releasing the arms, stepping back to Tadasana. Just going to repeat pyramid on the left hand side, so this time taking a step back with the left foot. So left toes are pointing in 45 degrees. Place your hands on your hips, square your hips to the top of the mat. Again, you can use reverse prayer, interlock your fingers, whatever feels good today. Engage the abdominals. Folding forward with a straight spine, keeping both legs strong and engaged. This is challenging, it's fine to also to drop your hands onto the mat. And coming back up to center. Stepping the left foot forward to meet the right. Now we're going to come to our balancing sequence. Jita Padahastasana. So we're going to bring the weight into the right foot. I'm just turning around this way. Lifting the left foot up, bending the knee. If it's possible, within your practice, holding on to your big toe. Reaching the left foot forward, Straighten the legs as much as you can. From here, again, if it feels okay, drawing your left foot out to the side. It's fine to use a wall if you're challenged by your balance. Coming back to center. Finally, letting go the left toe, trying to straighten the leg for count 5. Coming back down to Tadasana. I'm going to repeat that on the opposite side. So engaging Palabandha on the left foot, lifting the right knee high. It's fine to stay here or holding onto the big toe, reaching out. And again, if it's okay for your balance, moving the right foot out to side, gazing to your left. Going back to center, letting go of the toe or knee. Trying to straighten the right leg, pointing the toes. Coming back to center. Stepping back to the top of the mat. The next asana, Uttanasana, chair pose. In chair pose, you want to bend the knees, dropping the hips down. Try to keep a neutral spine. Arms are engaged. Try to gaze at the fingertips. Again, focusing on the breath. Coming back to Tadasana. Turn to the right side of the mat. Taking a big step to the right, 3 to 4 feet. Turning the right toes over the back of the mat. Heels are in line, or it's okay to move the left foot to the left. From here, we're going to come to Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. So deep bend in the forward leg. Hips are square to the top of the mat. Gaze at the fingertips. Both legs are strong and engaged. Pressing into both feet. From here, we're going to come to Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. This time, engaging the arms, reaching the right fingertips in line with the right toes. Left hand going in the opposite direction. Again, deep bend in the right knee, making sure that the right knee doesn't go past the right ankle. Coming back up to center. We're going to repeat those asanas in the opposite direction. This time we're pointing left toes over the top of the mat. Experimenting with the size, width of your stance. Deep bend in the forward leg. Squaring your hips towards the top of the mat. More realistically, they're pointing at the right corner of the mat. Getting at the level of your flexibility. Reaching the arms tall. Keeping the bend. This time in the left knee. And gazing at the fingertips. Here coming to Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2 on the left. Left fingertips again in line with the left toes. Both arms are strong and engaged, reaching out in opposite directions. Feeling this deep line of energy between the fingertips on the left and the fingertips on the right. Coming out of the pose, stepping the right foot forward to meet the left. Again, allowing the breath to settle, focusing on any physical sensations. From here, we're going to come to Dandasana, staff pose. So in Dandasana, both legs are reaching out, strong and engaged. You're pressing your feet into an imaginary wall. If it's challenging to keep a straight spine, it's fine to sit on a towel, a block, or a cushion, trying to keep the spine engaged. Trying to press both knees down, the back of both knees down towards the mat, keeping the feet engaged, toes pointing up. From here, we're going to place your hands behind us, fingers pointing back. And we're going to use this to try and fold forward with a straight spine. It's comfortable, holding on to our toes. Trying to keep the spine straight by engaging the abdominals, drawing the shoulder blades together. Then allowing everything to fold forward. Holding on to the big toes or placing your hands around the feet. Just having a reset here. Here we're going to come to Parvattanasana. So placing your hands both sides of your hips, fingers pointing forward. We're going to lift our hips up, trying to reach your toes down towards the mat. Both arms are strong and engaged. Again, you're trying to draw your shoulder blades together and trying to gently press your toes down towards the mat. Strong core engagement, glutes are engaged. And from here, coming back to Dandasana. From Dandasana, we're going to come to Janu Sirsasana A. So keeping our left leg strong and engaged, we're going to draw the right foot in towards the sitting bone. Going to place the sole of the right foot pressing into the left thigh. We're going to fold forward in line with the inner seam of the left leg. Allowing the right hip to open, allowing the right knee to drop down towards the mat. Coming back up to center. Coming back briefly to Dandasana. We're going to repeat that on the opposite side. So drawing the left foot in towards your sitting bone. Pressing the left Sole of the left foot into the right thigh. And again, engaging the core, trying to keep the spine straight and folding forward. Coming back to Dandasana. From Dandasana, the next asana is Vrajasana A. So again, we're drawing the right foot in towards our sitting bone. Sole of the foot pressing into the mat. Going to reach up the right arm, folding forward, and trying to get or bind by reaching the right hand back, left hand across to meet, and folding forward in line with the seam, the inner seam of the left leg. It's fine to use a strap. These binds are challenging today. Again, there's active core engagement to protect the lower spine. Coming out of the pose, repeating that on the other side. Reaching this time the left arm high, folding forward, reaching back with the left hand, binding with the right or using a strap, and folding forward in line, this time with the inner seam of the right leg. Going back to Dandasana. Now we're going to come to Vrajasana C. So again, we're drawing the right foot in, pressing the sole of the right foot into the mat. This time we're going to reach back with the right hand, pressing it into the mat, drawing our left arm towards the sky. We can hold on to the knee, right knee with the left hand, or it's in our practice. We can press the elbow, left elbow into the right knee, trying to keep the spine straight and try to twist to the right, gazing back behind you if that's accessible. Again, there's strong core engagement to protect the lower spine. Twist is coming from the thoracic spine. Coming back to center, back to Dandasana. Repeating that on the opposite side, this time drawing the left foot in. Reaching back with the left hand. This time holding on to the left knee with the right hand, or placing the elbow outside, the left knee, using the left knee to push into the right elbow, to try and deepen the twist, twisting to the left. Gazing back behind you, trying to keep the spine straight, core is engaged, twisting from the thoracic spine. Coming back to Dandasana. So from Dandasana, we're going to come to Navasana, boat pose. We're engaging core, hip flexors, sitting tall, drawing the knees in towards the chest, reaching out with the arms and trying to straighten the legs. Strong core engagement here. Just going to repeat that 2 more times. We're drawing in trying to sit with a tall spine. Dropping the feet to reset. For the last time, just doing the best you can. Bending the knees is fine if it's difficult to straighten the legs this afternoon. So again, drawing in of the abdominals, engaging the glutes, hip flexors, trying to straighten the legs. And coming back down. Next asana we come to is Baddha Konasana A. We're going to press the soles of our feet together, allowing the knees to drop out to the side, holding on to the feet with the toes, trying to fold forward with a straight spine. You can use your elbows here to press into the knees, try and open up the hips. And then allowing everything to round forward. Next asana we're coming to is Upavista Konasana. It's going to be quite a challenging asana, so just do your best today. So our legs are wide and straight, pressing the backs of both knees into the mat. And we're trying to hold on to the toes or the outside of the feet. Again, engaging the core to protect the lower spine, trying to fold forward. From here, if it's in your practice, bending the knees is fine. We're going to try and lift our feet high, straighten the legs the best you can. Engaging the quads to try and straighten out the legs. Allowing your feet to drop onto the mat. Next asana we come to today, this afternoon, is bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. So with control, lying onto the mat, drawing the feet in towards your sitting bones, pressing the feet firmly into the mat. From here, we're going to take an inhale and an exhale. Feet are spine one vertebrae at a time off the mat. Again, if it's in our practice, drawing our shoulder blades together, interlocking the fingers, releasing our hands to sides, and dropping down onto the mat. It's fine to repeat this. If we were to Dhanurasana, wheel pose, it's in your practice. You can try this now. So again, keeping the glutes strong. Imagine that you're squeezing a ball between your knees. Placing your hands onto the mat, fingers pointing back, lifting up onto your head, with control, reaching up into Urdhva Dhanurasana. Taking 3 or 4 breaths here if it's in your practice. With control, coming back down onto the mat. From here, we're coming to shoulder stand. So both legs are engaged. We're lifting up, placing our hands under our hips. If you're finding this challenging, you're welcome to use a wall, pressing the back of your legs into a wall. We're going to take 8 breaths here. If you feel comfortable here, you can drop your hands onto the mat. From here, we're going to come to Halasana, plow pose. So dropping feet back behind you, trying to keep the legs straight and engaged. From here, we're going to press our knees into our ears. Coming back to shoulder stand. Coming into a cross-legged position, or if it's in your practice, locust pose. With control, coming back to sitting. If you found the practice challenging and just want to take a child's pose here, it's in your practice. We can take an inversion Sirsasana, headstand. With headstand, just be careful if you're not a regular practitioner. It's not good to jump into headstand. So if you can't come up with control, I'd recommend some alternatives, which I will demonstrate. So the way I would normally recommend headstand is to interlock your fingers, pressing your head into your hands, elbows are shoulder width apart.
So pressing up onto your toes and walking your feet in. You can go to this version, lifting one leg high, then the other. You can stay here in dolphin, or with control, coming up to headstand. Careful over your neck, pressing into the shoulders, pressing into the elbows to protect the neck. And when you're ready, coming down with control and taking your child's pose. Focusing on the breath, observing any sensations that you're feeling. Allowing the hips to sink down towards the mat. From child's pose, taking as much time as you need. We're going to come to our final Shavasana. So lying down on the mat in Shavasana, feet are wide on the mat, toes dropping out to the sides, hands are also wide on the mat, palms facing up, keeping the eyes gently closed. Just observing any physical sensations, observing the points of contact between your physical body and the mat, allowing the physical body to soften and relax, focusing on the breath, observing as you inhale the gentle rise of the abdomen, and as you exhale, feel the abdomen sinking down towards the mat. I'm just going to do a body scan to reset. Bring your focus to your feet, observing any physical sensations you're feeling in the feet, toes, soles of the feet. Bring your focus to the ankles, calves, the knees, thighs, and the hips. Now tensing all the muscles, the right and left leg, and releasing, letting everything go. Just feeling both legs soften and relax. Letting go of any sensations you're now feeling in the legs. Now bringing your focus to your arms. Focusing on any physical sensations in your hands, your fingers, palms of the hand, the backs of the hand, the wrists, forearms, the elbows, the upper arms, and the shoulders. Again, engaging all the muscles of both arms. Exhaling, letting go of any sensations in both arms.
Now bringing your attention to all of the pelvic area. The lower back. The abdominal area. Thoracic spine, side of the ribs. All of the intercostal tissues. Again, engaging the abdominals, tightening the chest, and an exhale, releasing, letting go of any physical sensations. Now bringing your focus to your neck. To your facial muscles, cheeks, forehead, eyelids, top of the head, the back of the head. Again, engaging all the muscles of the face and neck, clenching the jaws, tightening the muscles in the neck. And exhale, letting go. Feel your neck and your facial muscles start to relax. Visualizing a soft smile on your face. Visualizing yourself lying in perfect peace and stillness on the mat. Staying in this place for a few moments. Bring your attention back to your breath, starting to elongate the breath. Waken up the physical body, start to wiggle the fingers and toes, make gentle circles with the wrists and ankles. Gently rock the head from side to side. You may wish on a deep inhale to reach your arms up overhead, taking a deep stretch from the tips of the fingers to the toes. Sigh out. One more nourishing inhale. Sigh out. Giving your knees one last well-deserved hug. Taking as much time as you need. Turning to the right-hand side. Again, taking all the time you need, pressing your left hand into the mat, coming up to any comfortable seated position. Keeping your eyes gently closed, you may wish to place your hands in prayer into the mudra. Focusing on everything that your body did during the practice, being grateful that we can come to practice, and thanking yourself, thanking your fellow yogis and yoginis for this great shared energy. And I'd like to thank you sincerely for practicing with me this afternoon. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste. Thank you very much.